cut it in Mexico City, hey, and off it went. The point I'm making, I've been aware of environmental circumstances for decades, just decades. The closer we get to now, the more influence we have in our own life. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, now we're going to in another stage. I don't care about the past. Like I'm gonna tell my friend, I don't care what happened. I said, because technically, he owes me several $100,000. And nowadays money it would be like millions, you know. Yeah. Because when he listened, the first 3 runs, I gave the game. Don't buy it, get your old car. Get you a simple little place to stay. Don't have all the niggas hanging around watching what you do and listening. You know what I mean? Have you 2 or 3 spots where you go or you got 1 or 2 women you send to those spots. If they don't open 1 spot. You know what I mean? And he did that. Man, we started making money. Maybe the 3rd or 4th time. And I told him, I said, your blood is going to boil right inside of your body. You're going to make so much money, your blood's going to, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel, you know what I mean? I said, you know, you're going to feel your blood, you know, you're going to be getting so much money, you can feel it. You're going to have so much money, you can smell it. Yeah, if you got your money hid over there, you can smell it. You know, like white boys had cocaine hid in a certain place, and I walked in there, I said, the blow is right over there. In the cupboard, that's where it was. Because like you could smell it. You know, when you're in tune with certain things. So I told him, and he listened. We walked and talked for 30 days. And he asked me, he said, if you could give me just £1, I could make $84,000. I remember. I said, £1. I said, do you know those jars in the kitchen? You know, those coffee jars. When I would buy different things, and I was hustling for Colombians down in Colombia. Americans come, like, hey, something I give. So I was doing actually good, just, you know, by myself, I was actually doing good. But I would keep an ounce or 2 in each thing that I'd buy. You know what I mean? Just to study it, to see. Because some would be a little orange, and some was like pineapple, a little yellow. That's the kind we like. We used to call it rock. Boy, that was. But they call it a scum. Scum. Why? Because white people like flake, you know what I mean? Ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, and all that, you know, and that's what you hear. Everybody, ting-a-ling-a-ling, they'd hear bells. At least the first time, and that's what they were saying, you know. I don't even remember if I heard bells, but I know one thing. Well, that rock, not these rocks they have now. That's what niggas like. It was scum, it was a low quality. It wasn't fully purified to white, so it would have a little yellow color. They called it scum. To them, they didn't, I said, okay, fine. I'll take some of that old cheap stuff over there. A couple of keys of that old cheap scum. Of course, it's going to be double the price for our folk, because they love it. They love it. It's stronger. It's just anyway. So I told my partner, I said, no, look, this money is going to come so fast. Now remember, nobody has had this experience yet but me. I mean, okay, well, no, there's a crew coming after me. They're getting that experience now, and the government is giving it to them. They're giving them plenty of dope to sell. But this is all so close together, they're not. So I tell him, I said, I can't give you £1. I said, the less I can give you is 10. Then he thought I was maybe crazy, you know, because I said, no, and I said, plus we're wholesalers. We don't want to sit there and break the little everyday thing down to, you know, when you read the newspaper, it was $50 zillion worth of cocaine. Doesn't you cut it down to the, you cut it and then you cut it down to the little bitty eyedropper, you know what I mean, a little bit. So then it's worth $75 trillion. No, but if you sell it wholesale, it's like $50, $100 million. So, you know what I mean, wholesale. And I was trying to tell him that we're different now. We're big. I said, when I was in the States, I was selling pounds and getting pounds of cocaine. I mean, I was what's called a big dealer then. I said, but now we're international smugglers. We're here at the cocaine house, right? So I can't give you. I said, you want a pound of cocaine? I said, a pound of cocaine only costs little or nothing down there. You know what I mean? I said, but up there, they getting 3,000 an ounce. Let's say 22,000 an ounce. So for him, he could take 1 pound, and that's $32,000, say, something like that. Selling wholesale. Or, anyway, here's the point. After about the fourth time, the fourth run, it's just burning up. It's just, you know, I know I can see it. He can't sit still. You know what I mean? Go down to the store, the East Mart Mall, buy big diamond rings out of the store, cash money. How much is this? 5 carats, 7, 8 carats, that's stuff there. Jetsons, Corvettes, what's the other kind of car? This woman got a Jag. I mean, this is all like, boom. I can't stand it anymore. It's like you sit there and you just go out and you buy up the whole thing. You just buy it, you can't, because, you know, part of it is my management style. I can't tell him anymore and I can't hold his hand. I just know that we got to get bigger, and you're doing a good job. Just keep doing a good job. But it was burning. It just went crazy. It just went crazy. Bam. So, and I would go and I'd send a little woman, and, what about such and such? He sent me a message. He said, tell Hank, I'm on the big end now. That's the craziest thing. See, because my connections, if you tried to hurt my connections, man, I'd run over you with a car or anything. Because your connection is, he's taking care of you, your family, your whole, you know, your smooth transition in life depends on that person, right? So they want to stay at the house, they want to whatever, they don't, you get the best room, you know, everything. That's the way. In those days, that was the way it was. tell Hank, I'm on the big end now. Now, you don't tell your connection that you're on the big end, because you're on the small end. And even my sons, we have a joke. They call me, they said, Dad, I'm on the big end now. You know, that's the words that that's a joke. Forget about the government is so silly. They fix up a case for him so he goes to Costa Rica. Nobody brings cocaine through Costa Rica. Come through Costa Rica, and he comes back and he's weighs about 100 pounds. You know, trying to do what I, was doing. Can I help you there, brother?
Oh, no, just checking out the Masjid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm from Virginia, so I was passing the
All right, no, welcome, anytime. Just come on through. So anytime, anyway, so what we do is, I'm on the big end now. But whatever was old, I never mentioned it. If he sees this is the first time I've ever mentioned, what he don't know, that what he did back in '66 altered my life, right? What he did in 1973 participated in altering life. And number one, we're at a transition, right at a, okay, once you're doing this, here's where we were at that time. If this thing that I was doing goes off is so big that I don't think there's no turning back. That's why I have right now the hotels, Hermosillo. The way I was setting it up, I set the same thing like we do anything else, just really strategic. Okay, Mexican border, Sonora, the closest big town where I don't look out of place, is the capital of Sonora, Hermosillo. So I can live there, but I can live there and I can set up stuff all along the border. And I can knock, it's just like, you can't lose. If you got 4 hits and you get hit at 1, it's no big deal. You get hit at 2, that's no big deal. Even if you get 1 through, it's so big. But 95% of the time, ain't nothing gonna happen. That's what I was setting up. But I'm studying Chairman Mao. I'm listening to the record. You look at the date of that record. When I was playing that record, 1972 was when it came out. I'm listening to all of that. See, 'cause you gotta straighten out the stuff with Boss Man. Boss Man misunderstands. He think he did this, he did that, and you, like, for instance, if he wants to get rid of me in Colombia, he think if he was going boo from behind this corner or that corner, that he's the one that made me shift from Colombia to Venezuela or something like that. Where he may have had 15%. He think he had 85%, but it's only 15%. The study, what I'm trying to say is the study, everything happened at the right time. In '78, when I told the people no, they took me to jail. It was the right thing. When my friend told me I'm on the big end now, it was the right time. It was perfect time. because I wouldn't be here now. You know what I mean? Because the thing that I was at, well, I know best where it would have been, but that would have made, I would have, just imagine at that, if this one goes, remember each time you do a shipment, it gets bigger and bigger. And you have more time to plan, and you have more money. You can now set up, the first thing, you bring me the money. Me and you will take it and get it back to the U.S. But from that money, we got, now, we can set up this, set up that, just from that. Now imagine the next one. Now you on the board. You know what I mean? You're on the chessboard. Now imagine, now you got the money to do this stuff big. I happened to go back to Africa to take some money. And they didn't need any money because they wasn't there. So I left some, let's say with Pete, whatever, you know. Yeah, anyway. And then, you know what? I had the nice little lady get a whole folder of of somebody. Imagine a guy gonna double cross you, and he's from your neighborhood. He's your best friend. You know his mama, his auntie, his cousins, and everybody, right? He's gonna double cross you. And you're down there with billions, not billions, but a lot of money. And you connected up. So I had, they say, not I had, but somebody had, people just, you know, like they take pictures and they follow people around. I'm from Oakland, I'm just from Oakland, you know what I mean? I'm the big man in Oakland still at that time, I mean, was. So they bring me a folder with photographs, to that, places where they go. So I give it to somebody in Africa and give them the money, y'all want to do something about it, it's fine. I call them and let them know, forget it. Forget it. I never did it before, and I'm not going to start now. Keep it. All those are excellent decisions. All of them, and people know about these decisions. It's not like, you know, these, the point I'm trying to make, everything that was supposed to happen, happened, it happened in its own sequence. Everything we forecasted about America, the fabricas are getting old in America, and Germany's and Japan's are new. Yeah, don't seem like much. But everything that we've ever talked about, it's not just like the stuff we talk about around here. Everything. And we know what we know and what we've known. Therefore, this is a dynamic step right here. This step right here is a dynamic step. Okay, we're just fooling around, but that's the way it always, when you make it, we don't call it a comeback, but in a way we do. That's what this is. But when the smoke clears in this, it may not even clear. This is world-class organization time. That's where we're headed. Inshallah, I mean, what I'm saying is, with everything set like it's set and everything positioned, that's where we're headed. We're headed for what we call the big time. We're headed for influence in the direction of change. We're headed for everything that Dr. Khalil Siddiqui could see. And remember, we got to reconstruct not only for Dr. Siddiqui, but Imam Jamil. We got to cover their stuff because they didn't get a chance. they destroyed the Muslim parliament. Muhammad al-Asi and all them niggas, they just, poof. The Muslim parliament, Majlis Ashura Islamiyya Free Britannica. Dr. Siddiqui put that boy together, all the big programs and activities. He did stuff that even the ulama hadn't even thought of yet. They had to have a Baitul Mal for them, and they gave money to Bosnia and all. That's still the days of Bosnia. How? Dr. Siddiqui, who technically was not one of them fiqh type scholars, he was an ideological guy, you know. And he put it together. He put that whole thing together, and he had, one of the guys told me, back the guy from Atlanta, a Lebanese guy, you know the Lebanese guy from Atlanta that sell books?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He used to travel around with Dr. Siddiqui. Of course, you know how I feel about that. But that's okay, no problem. He used to travel around with Dr. Khalil Siddiqui. So he said, man, those old Indo-Pakistani guys would be looking at Dr. Siddiqui with that look, the second coming look, you know, that really a certain type of pride, that old stuff that we used to have about us, they have it too in their own way. Look at our people, look at our, you know, and he's a representative of that, putting all this together. I mean, representatives from each group in Europe meeting, or especially in England, meeting and passing resolutions and a parliament of their own, and they just tore it apart. They just tore it apart just like it wasn't nothing. Yeah, and made fun of his poor wife and then his son. And they didn't even see what was, because they would never suspect that because they don't, you know what I mean? They suspect little things, but they don't, what I'm saying.